There is a change in the media space right now, and it is going to affect Ahsoka in many different ways, and I think this is just the first sign. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink. Let's jump in. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but Bespin Bulletin was reporting that, hey, you know that Ahsoka trailer that we all expected to see last weekend? Yeah, that was supposed to happen. But it got delayed due to Twitter problems. And I think this is the first start of some interesting challenges that Ahsoka is going to be facing. The problem is the marketing for Ahsoka. Well, I would question whether it is called marketing. As someone who works in content marketing and the idea of promoting something, a business, a project, or anything like that, having a few pictures that come out over the course of several months, we're about a month and a half away from Ahsoka actually coming out. This is when they really need to start stepping it up. I need to be able to go to a Chili's or an Olive Garden, some place that has TVs in it, and I need to be able to see Ahsoka. And I think this is a struggle that Star Wars has and Disney Plus in general has. I feel like a lot of these big properties are just under the guise that, you know what, we're Star Wars, we're Marvel, we don't have to promote anything. And then they don't do that. And they complain about underperforming. Mandalorian Season 3, quote-unquote, underperformed compared to other Star Wars titles. Stuff like Obi Wan Kenobi and or all of those things. It seems like as each new show comes up, the less they market it because they feel like they don't necessarily have to market it. And that is wrong. This is not just a criticism of Star Wars in particular. I think it's just a criticism across the board when it comes to a lot of these streaming services. Oftentimes, I don't really know what the heck is really coming out on a lot of these streaming services because they don't seem to really put anything behind one thing to be known for. They just kind of like pray and spray, which I think with Star Wars, with how much Star Wars we've been getting in the past, with this continuation and reliance on the streaming services for more Star Wars content, I feel like there's a need for more like focus on each of these individual shows. And Ahsoka is more than likely going to be the key for the next generation of this Star Wars or this new era of Star Wars. It's going to be the thing that sets up Dave Filoni's eventual movie. It's going to be the foundation of something like Skeleton Crew is going to come out and probably tie into Ahsoka in some way because it's in the wild space and that's all around the wild space, and Thrawn's been out there and Ezra's been out there. So I feel like there's going to be a need for this specific show to rely on more than, oh, hey, here's a picture. And then like a week or two goes by and, oh, hey, here's another picture. Also, we did an interview. Also, here's another picture. And we did another interview. I don't think that's going to work for this show because so many fans don't know who the heck Ahsoka is. People that watched just The Mandalorian thought, oh, hey, there's a character. Why is she there? I don't know. They didn't do a really great job of introducing her to new audiences. They didn't really give her the moment to be Ahsoka, you know? Like we all, having watched The Clone Wars, having watched Rebels, we know what Ahsoka is. We know how awesome she is. We know the wide stories that she's been in. But when I talk to friends of mine who literally just watch the live action TV shows and the movies, they have no idea who Ahsoka is. And I feel like that's the struggle when it comes to Ahsoka. So many people don't know who Ahsoka is. So many people don't watch animated shows. This is the struggle that Ahsoka is going to have, especially when they're playing the, oh, we're not going to release trailers strategy that works for Obi-Wan because it has Darth Vader in it, but it's not going to work for Ahsoka, who's a completely different character, new character to so many fans, that it needs to strike the balance of appealing to people that watch Rebels, that watch the Clone Wars, as well as people that only watch Mandalorian. The show doesn't come out until another month and a half or so. And there's still time to really step up the marketing from there. But I feel like this whole strategy that they've got going on right now doesn't really work for most people. And maybe it makes sense. Summer is a very busy time for most people. Web traffic drops, people watching TV shows and movies and just video games even, they don't really do a whole lot in the summer because they're outside doing things. So maybe that's part of the strategy of like, okay, yeah, we're not going to do anything right now because we're going to step it up later on in the summer period. But when you release a show in the summer, late summer obviously, but when you release it in the summer, you need to be prepared for that. And you need to be able to work this strategy to where you give them everything they need to know. I need to see a Rebels-inspired thing, or like, who is Ahsoka? I need to see all of the different things that I as a fan will appreciate and people who don't know who the heck Ahsoka is. If you look at something like the Secret Invasion show, it's got freaking Samuel L. Jackson, and it's reportedly having very low numbers. You know why? Well, at least one of the reasons. They didn't market it well. They had this whole like secret agent strategy for their whole show, and their whole shtick for marketing was that. I have a friend of mine, he loves MCU. He's always talked to me about it. He loves keeping up to date. The other day, he's like, what is this Secret Invasion show? Literally a week before it came out, he just now heard about it. And that is the epitome of the problem that Disney Plus has with marketing its TV shows. But we do have to ask ourselves, the question is, do they want this just to fit the Rebels Clone Wars audience? That might be big enough. But if they really want this to catch the same fan base of like The Mandalorian, which was a cultural movement and everything was around Baby Yoda and was just like a game changer when it came to Disney Plus. If they really want that, I don't think that's necessarily the only audience that they should be targeting. I feel like there's such an opportunity for so many new fans to get introduced to Ahsoka and maybe go back and watch Rebels, maybe go back and watch the Clone Wars to get more details. But they also need the details in the show. And from the marketing so far, it's not really like, if you don't know who Ahsoka is, there's no reason for you to watch this show so far. And I feel like that's such a disappointing thing. There's so many great things about Ahsoka, and I wish that they really focused the marketing to that broader audience. Again, there's still time. There's a month and a half. They can really step up the marketing machine and get things going. But I feel like at this point, they need a massive like marketing. They need to just send everything. Send out the brigades. Drop the big bombs, have a trailer that doesn't get delayed because Twitter is having a problem. Like, the world doesn't run on Twitter. I know there's a large audience on Twitter for Star Wars, but there's also a large audience for Star Wars on YouTube and Instagram, and it'll eventually make its way over to, Twitter. So I just find it so fascinating that the whole, oh man, we didn't release this thing because Twitter was having problems. Twitter's been having problems. It's a problem. The whole platform is a problem. So I think if you're going to stop your marketing plan just because you're having an issue with one social platform, I don't necessarily know if it's a great marketing plan. And I'm not impressed so far with it. As someone who literally works in content marketing and marketing for their day job, it's not really strong yet. Again, there's still an opportunity. There's still chances for it to do well. There's still chances for them to fix all the problems I laid out. Here's a great list. Go through, find some of the issues that I've got here that are pretty feasible. Like, give me a video, partner with Star Wars Explained, do an official Who is Ahsoka video. Don't necessarily require it just to be on the fan base to explain who your character or show is. Because this seems like it's going to be the foundation of what Dave Filoni's movie is going to be. So I feel like there's a lot riding on this one show for the future of Star Wars. Let me know your thoughts though. I'd love to hear what you think when it comes to Ahsoka's marketing so far. And do you know who Ahsoka is? Are you interested in this? Let me know in the comments below. As always, hey, check out our podcast. May the Force be with you.